Hello, Warriors. Monday morning, bank holiday here in the U.S. Dale Pinkard at TradeGATEHub.com, sponsored and powered by TradeView Markets. So with today being a bank holiday, I'm not making a lot out of it, but I'm getting prepped. There are a few big events this week. And let's start off with the euro, which you can see from the par level is now trading at 61.8 back, a shade underneath it. I just want to show the two patterns between euro and cable. And as you can tell from cable, which had the very dramatic run up, 1,200 pip move, it's been much less of a give back here. So your relative strength on the continent and across the channel is going to be cable over euro. And if I was trading in a vacuum, which I don't, I would, say, well, 61.8, just try it and, look for a fib level here in the pound. But as my viewers and you guys know, I've been saying that I think that the yen has to make one more new high and challenge the intervention levels, which is, 45.90 was where they came in. What date was that? That was the 22nd of September. So here we are a few weeks later. They haven't, the BOJ has not had to intervene. I've heard talk that it's not just the price level, it's more about the speed and the amount of the ATR, average trading range of the day, being 200, if they don't want to see 200 pip moves. And it's coming at a pretty interesting time. The two events this week, of course, is CPI on Thursday. But something that's really not talked about much is the IMF meeting at the World Bank annual meeting in DC all week this week, Monday through, I don't know when they wrap up the meeting, but it's an excellent time for them to come out with, at the minimum, some type of communique, especially if we're trading up here. So write this number down. I'm looking for between 146.80 and 147 in the yen. And then what I'm going to do is when the yen is up there, besides taking a shot if we have momentum divergence on multiple time frames, is then I'll look at where both euro and cable are. Do you get it? So I would just, I'm going to wait to fade the dollar until the strength of US dollar pairs, which is the weakness in the yen, makes a new high and diverge. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some type of communique come out of these meetings in Washington to at least try and jawbone the dollar lower. I think it would be more effective if they acted and said nothing or made the announcement after they came in and did it. There's a lot of, I've seen charts like our guest last week, Julian Brigden, came on and he showed a chart of how there have been different periods where the Fed, we could have currency crises. He pointed towards the Asian crisis with the Thai baht, that the Fed didn't care. A lot of these different things, currencies were not G7 currencies, which is, I think, makes it a different case and probably a more critical case than the Thai baht. So I really do believe that central bankers have the tools, if they want, to break this uptrend in the US dollar. I expect they would do so. And one of the reasons is if the dollar would begin to weaken, besides it benefiting all the different financial and bond markets across the globe that have dollar denominated debt, I think it's going to save the Fed having to bail out a country or a bank in a foreign land, or at least postpone it. And it would help our multinationals export whatever we do export here out of the States. So I think a weaker dollar could be a sacrificial lamb to keep the party going for a while. And it would, I do believe you'd see more risk on coming into the market. if that occurred. And in fact, a pretty critical point, I just want to touch on it on the S&Ps. So we had this very vicious rally, and here we are checking it right back at the line with a reversal day. I don't want to make too much out of today again because of the bank holiday, but hard for me to want to get short down here. I more prefer the risk-reward ratio of looking for a spot to get long. I'm actually doing absolutely nothing today on this bank holiday, but I can't say I'm not doing anything is because I'm preparing myself to execute at certain areas. Now, here's my key again. I'm going to think of me when the end's at new highs and what I may be thinking to do. When it comes to the commodity currencies, the Aussie keeps making successive new lows. See how weak that is? Whereas the Canadian made its high a week ago, and we still have not made a new high. So between the commodity currencies, this is your preferred one to short. You short USD CAD or the dollar pairs compared to the Aussie, which is now testing 63, and I really don't have a reason to buy it yet. Moving down to the dollar index, we're playing a little bit above this 61.8 level, similar to the euro. Maybe it'll stretch to 78.6. I mean, there are people saying that the dollar is going to make a new high, and I can't rule it out. And people that follow me and understand my work with the real simple implicator, the RSI, know that I would think that there is a possibility of a new high because in the dollar, because we did have a confirmed high in the dollar. We had a confirmed low in the euro. So, I'm open to it. So how will I approach it? So I'm tempted to trade this retracement in the dollar. But again, I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is be patient. Now the end's only about 30 pips away. So I think I'm going to have my answers this week. I think maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, and then Thursday is going to be the big mover. I think the market is due for some good news, and perhaps we're going to have a more benign CPI than we've had the last several months. Let me move to the metals now. Last week I talked about there was potential for the silver to pull back towards 1950, which is a 50% level. I think that we could actually even move down towards this 19 level. This is where I'm looking to be a buyer. The silver shares would be a buy on a break. They had a real nice run. Here's First Majestic. Look at this run. So, a pullback to 740 is a buying opportunity. So those who, said to themselves after we had this big run in silver off the falling wedge and then pulled back to 18, that I missed it. I think this is an excellent chance to get on board. And if we next time over 21, it's gone, you won't see 18 again. So, I'm going to be trying it down here around the 61.8 level. The gold silver ratio still looks corrective to me after this big candle. We're just correcting. I'm still looking for lower levels. Looking at rates on Friday on the NFP, despite a very strong number, we did not make new highs on the 10-year, but we did challenge the lows, and we are making new lows today in TLT, even with the bond market close. So this is going to be a critical week. Look for something to come out of the G7. I'd be careful about pressing alongside the dollar. I still think it's pretty crowded trade, and be patient and wait for the yen. Maybe by the next time I'm on the air solo on Wednesday, we'll have a resolution to this. And as Tom Petty said, waiting is the hardest part, but it pays. Great surfers don't try and catch every wave. They wait for their setup. And that's what I'm going to be doing, using US dollar yen for the key for entries in outside markets that I brought up. So good hunting today, guys. don't have to do anything on a day like this. Wait for everyone to be back tomorrow. The next 3-4 days, I think, are going to be critical days for the market. We're either going to hold this 3,600 level and begin to recover back towards 39.40, 39.60 in the S&Ps, and we're either going to have a failing rally in the dollar here without making new highs and roll over, or the dollar's going to blow to new highs, and I'd still be looking to short it if that happened as well. But I'm going to key off the N, and that's going to give me signals on the rest of the board. So the lesson for today is you may not have a clear picture on a lot of instruments, but if you understand the relationships between different currencies and different asset classes, and you have clarity on one of them, then you could just wait for that to manifest and then take actions, and the other ones will clarify for you because you were patient waiting for the one instrument that was your key to your whole narrative. And that's a wrap for me. Mike will be on in an hour and 15 minutes. I'll be joining Mike tomorrow for our Tuesday macro talk. See what's going on. I'm curious. I want to ask Mike what he thinks of the cannabis stocks. They started to pop last week just based on some decriminalization talk out of the Biden administration. You had 30-40% moves up in the cannabis stocks. And there are some people that I know that follow these issues closely that are saying that they may pass that SAFE Act in Congress during the lame duck session, and that changes the whole financial picture for cannabis stocks. They can't even write off their rent. They can't write off expenses. When they're borrowing money, they're doing it at higher rates. So, if they had a change and were able to be banked, and then that would probably move them from OTC issues to a better listing. This is one exception where we could get in before the institutions because they can't buy them here. So anyway, keep an eye on some of these cannabis stocks. Maybe the Biden administration gets the SAFE Act through, and that's going to change the financials on all of these cannabis stocks. So have a great day, everyone. Stay tuned for Mike and join us at TradeGATEHub. Check out TradeView Markets. And more than that, don't just count your pips.